This week on the season premiere of BuzzFeed Unsolved, we investigate Area 51 as part of our ongoing investigation into the question, are aliens real? Kind of weird to hear me say aliens instead of ghosts, huh?
Yeah, have you said that before?
This may be the first time.
It's raid day!
That is true. This is the day that people have gathered together and decided it's a good idea to advance on Area 51.
I guess.
And speaking of which, if you're watching this now expecting to see footage of us at the raid, we didn't go because we like our head on our shoulders too much.
A couple of fancy boys like us, you think we're gonna be out there in the desert marching around? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't really like chewing on bullets, and I don't really know how it transpired.
No, we're shooting this before it happened. So God willing, everyone is okay. What if everything's different now? What if they found aliens there? What if everybody marched up to it and a gray came out and just said, "Hi, well, you got me."
Oh, I thought that's how they speak. They go, and they touch their nipples.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Anyway, so that's probably how it went.
This is gonna be a stupid episode.
I think so.
On November 26th, 1954, Alan Dulles, the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, entrusted his special assistant, Richard Bissell, to lead a very secret program with the codename Aquatone.
Love a code name.
As far as code names go, though, Aquatone.
Pretty cool. What? No! What would you have called it? Stop it, stop it, stop it. Don't go down there. Okay, that's better. Okay, what would you have called it? You're too satisfied with the bit here.
I got tangled in my own head.
Yeah, you lost yourself.
What about Purple Nurple?
Project Purple Nurple. Yeah, because then people are going to get too wrapped up, thinking like, what could that possibly be?
What could that possibly be? Actually, this feels pretty nice.
Holy shit. Okay. Let's continue.
It was the beginning of the Cold War, and Aquatone's mission was to build a high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft that could fly over the Soviet Union undetected. The plane would need to fly higher than any other plane had flown before, and the team would need to put it together in complete secrecy. That aircraft came to be known as the U-2.
It could fly really higher than any other aircraft before it. I feel like being up that high, you might get a little, vertigo!
Oh yeah, if there's any man who knows how to be higher than any other man, it's Bono, baby. It's a good U2. It's U2 stuff.
Yeah.
Once built, the team needed to find somewhere they could test the aircraft without being discovered. On April 12, 1955, Bissell, along with Air Force officer Colonel Osmond Ritland, Clarence Kelly Johnson of Lockheed Skunk Works Division, and Lockheed test pilot Tony LeVere surveyed options in the sparsely populated deserts of the American West. They honed in on a site near a Nevada salt flat called Groom Lake, a piece of land better known by its map location, Area 51. But the U-2 isn't the top secret aircraft hidden inside Area 51 that's captivated people's imaginations. This top secret government base has been dogged with theories of extraterrestrial phenomenon for years. One theory even posited that the base had perhaps been built at the site of a top secret crash, and that the US was analyzing these spaceships in order to reverse engineer alien technology to develop better man-made aircraft. Perhaps the most famous proponent of this theory is a man who claimed his job was to do exactly that.
Oh, I think that if we were reverse engineering aircraft, planes would be better now. Especially because it's the Cold War, right? It's the Cold War.
Yeah.
They're trying to show off their technological prowess. Mm-hmm. So why aren't they trotting that thing out, having parades around it? Oh yeah, we got a hoverboard. It runs on goo. You know? Fill up the goo tank.
Sometimes I think when you're in a battle for supremacy, though, it helps to have an upper hand, and the way to have an upper hand is to do so under the veil of secrecy. The best strike is the one they don't see coming. And if we're out there parading around our famous little stealth airplanes, not a lot of secrecy to that. On May 12, 1989, KLAS reporter George Knapp interviewed a man who kept his face hidden from the camera and was identified on screen only as Dennis. Dennis revealed that he'd briefly worked at S4, an outpost facility near Area 51. Knapp asked the obscured man, quote, exactly what's going on up there, end quote. Dennis answered plainly, quote, well, there's several, actually 9 flying saucers, flying discs, that are out there of extraterrestrial origins, and they're being test flown and basically just analyzed, end quote. When Knapp pressed about whether or not these mysterious aircraft could have possibly been made by our own government, Dennis shot back, quote, totally impossible. The propulsion system is a gravity propulsion system. The power source is an antimatter reactor. This technology does not exist at all, end quote. Dennis was later identified as Robert Bob Lazar, a senior staff physicist who was recommended for his position at S4 by none other than Dr. Edward Teller, the man who co-invented the thermonuclear bomb. In a televised interview, Lazar provided information on the type of technology he said he had seen, as well as sketches identifying what the spacecraft looked like. Lazar nicknamed the craft he allegedly worked on the Sport Model.
I just truly think, if it was revealed, if something got out, government has aliens, most that happens is people make jokes on Twitter for 6 to 12 hours. And that's it. And it'll be in the news a little bit here and there, but
No.
it'll be a hashtag. It'll be trending for a little bit.
If extraterrestrials are monitoring our knowledge of their existence, and they...
What, then they're gonna show up? They're not gonna show up.
If they see that we see what their craft looks like, and they see that we see what their weapons are like, maybe they think, oh, the jig's up.
I don't think anybody wants to spend any time here.
Yeah, so they just blow it up.
Oh, well,
Like,
if that happens, who cares?
I care because I live here.
Yeah, but then everyone's dead, so nothing matters. And that's kind of cool. I mean, what a privilege it would be.
You sound like a movie villain right now. Lazar said he was motivated to show his face and give his true name in the later interviews to ensure his safety. Quote, insurance is the true motivation behind this, end quote. In his initial anonymous interview, he mentioned the things he'd faced from the government. Quote, I've been threatened with being charged with espionage. I've had my life threatened by them, my wife's life threatened by them. And I mean, I don't know where else you can go from there, end quote. In a 2018 documentary, Lazar was asked, quote, would you take it all back and just be Bob, the jet car guy, and never have done this if you can? Or are you glad you had the experience, end quote. Lazar answered, quote, yeah, that's hard to say. I don't know. I think I'd lean towards not at this point in my life. I'd probably lean towards not saying anything, end quote.
Anyone should
Aspire.
be content with the nickname Bob the Jet Car Guy.
It's pretty good. That could be like on a polo or something, or a business card.
Did you just do that as an excuse to rub your left nipple again?
No, but as you say that now, I think the logo would look really good, like right around here.
This is my least favorite bit we've ever done on this show.
What bit? Bob Lazar risked everything to tell what he believed to be the truth. Quote, that in the late 1980s, the US government had recovered alien spacecraft, several of them, and the technology in the Nevada desert that they were keeping quiet and analyzing. That's a fact, end quote. Let's say you worked at NASA, which I think you could have done if you wanted to.
Thank you. Wow, thank you.
Once again, just...
I did love math in high school.
What not, whatever.
It's fun to do math.
Okay, yeah, you're at NASA. You go to, you have your little lunch pail, you're walking in. All
I've
of a
got
sudden,
those glad, I'm wearing the white shirt,
Yeah,
I've got the horn-rimmed glasses or whatever.
you're walking around, you're thinking about what you're gonna do at work that day. You look down at your watch. What do you see in the reflection? A nice green
but
light.
it's a really nice watch.
I know, yeah, it's a nice watch. You're seeing a glint in the watch.
Oh, okay.
You're like, what's that?
Ooh, it's
you look
my
over to see
smile,
what it is.
because I've got such a great job.
You see like a door that's slightly ajar. There's a glow coming from it. You open it up. You see a spacecraft. Holy hell.
And a little guy in there going...
Yeah, he's in there dancing to Billie Eilish. You see that, you think, what the hell did I just see? I need to tell people.
I'm not even thinking that. I'm tweeting and I'm streaming.
Now,
do I have
you
a
don't
significant social
you don't-
media
you don't-
following?
you don't have any following at this point because you're Shane Madej in the timeline where you're at NASA.
Oh, I don't even want to live.
But is it a fact, or are these alien spacecraft just ongoing sightings of the U-2, the high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft that started this way back in 1955? A CIA report that was more fully declassified in 2013 states that the U-2 program was responsible for several UFO sightings around Area 51. In fact, there was a substantial increase in reported sightings of UFOs right around the same time the U-2 test flights began in Area 51, which the CIA documents call, quote, an unexpected side effect, end quote. And while it might be easy for the government to explain UFO reports as U-2 sightings, Bob claims he didn't just see the alien spacecraft, but the crew as well.
It just sounds very convenient. Very convenient. Well, I saw the crew. I saw their little butts. I saw their little smiles.
I saw one of them singing in the shower.
Saw one of them eating a bag of Doritos. Saw one of them kissing his wife in a crater.
I don't like where this is going.
I saw one of them choosing to do some other stuff.
What kind of stuff?
Some sex stuff. With his sexy alien wife.
In March 1989, Bob Lazar was walking down an S4 hallway when, according to author Annie Jacobson, he, quote, glanced sideways through a small 9x9-inch window, and for a brief moment, he says, he saw inside an unmarked room. He thought he saw a small gray alien with a large head standing between two men dressed in white coats. When he tried to get a better look, he was pushed by a guard who told him to keep his eyes forward and down. End quote. Lazar stated that the aliens around Area 51 were referred to as the kids.
What if this? What if they're working on something so top secret that they want to fuzz the narrative a little bit? They don't want people snooping. Mm-hmm. They don't want people thinking about something else.
Yeah.
So they put, funny little alien in a room. Oh, fake alien. You drop here. Let someone see it. Oh, there's aliens there. Everyone start talking about aliens. Meanwhile, they're over here working on, they found the Fountain of Youth or something.
They distract from one hysteria by adding another hysteria?
Oh, well, it's certainly taken control of the narrative, hasn't it? They're fuzzing the narrative.
Yeah, but it's still having the same effect. They're putting more fuzz on that peach, but it's still spilling out plenty of juice.
Why'd you turn into someone from New Jersey? Still spilling out plenty of juice.
It's still the same.
It's a fuzzy one, but it's still got plenty of juice.
There's still a mess on your hands is what I'm getting at. But if the flying saucers and small gray aliens weren't enough to compel Knapp to believe Lazar, it could have been the totally impossible technology that started emerging in the marketplace. Technology that Lazar recognized as alien. In one early interview, Lazar describes a hand scanner that used some kind of advanced technology which he claims could grant him and other employees access to S4. In the 2018 documentary Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers, Lazar is shown a now declassified photo of such a device called an AaronAmat used in the F-117 program. Lazar confirmed it was the device he used back in the 80s.
Hand scanner?
Yeah, that's pretty weak. I mean, first off, you gotta understand escalation, Bob. So when you say spaceship, oh, wow, aliens in the spaceship, holy smokes.
Yeah.
They had a hand scanner too that was pretty sweet. They scanned your hand, you could go in the door. You didn't have to have a badge. I'm not listening to you anymore, Bob.
No, we've landed on the moon, Bob.
You start with hand scanner, then work your way up to the spaceship, and then to the aliens.
This was what year did he say they were?
He said I saw that in the 80s.
20 years after we landed on the moon.
Yeah.
Not great.
But according to Lazar, it was what was fueling these flying saucers that intrigued S4 the most. Lazar said, quote, I was given a demonstration on how it worked, things that it did, the physics of it. The thing they were most interested in is duplicating the reactors without using this element 115, which is of course impossible. End quote. Maybe not as impossible as Lazar once thought. When Lazar reported that they were working with something called element 115 back in the 80s, it didn't exist on the periodic table. He explained that the spacecraft used element 115 as its fuel because it could actually produce its own gravity. Reverse engineering this alien fuel was what S4 was most interested in. Element 115 has since been created by Russian scientists in the early 2000s and reported as confirmed in 2013, when Swedish chemists replicated the element at the GSI Helmholtz Center in Germany. Now called Moscovium, element 115 is extremely heavy and highly unstable. So far, laboratory experiments have only been able to reproduce it for about a second or less at a time. Aliens and all that stuff aside, what we do have here is a definitive discovery of a new element, which is pretty sweet.
That's cool. Yeah.
I thought as a science guy, you would appreciate that.
Yeah, it's neat.
I mean, they're only able to replicate it a second at a time, but...
Not very handy.
Well, I mean, because we don't have the tech yet.
It's unstable.
But I will say it's interesting to say the least, and it certainly doesn't hurt the extraterrestrial conversation.
No.
I'm just saying I'm coming at this from a pragmatic way.
So the scientists who produced it in Russia,
Yes.
they didn't say like, oh, we're trying to reproduce this alien goo.
Well, I imagine it's probably hard to get funding for something saying, oh, we want to recreate alien goo.
Yeah.
Much easier to be like, yeah, we need to make more element 115. And they're like, okay, I'll write the check. Despite the narrative and all that stuff, if we were able to make an element that could produce its own gravity, that would open us up to vehicles that were anti-gravity.
True.
And essentially, flying cars would now be a reality.
Yeah, I'd love it. You'd get a new Pixar film.
Sure.
I'll do a little more research on this on my own time, see how it stacks up.
Don't you touch my case file ever again. Get your...
Yeah, I licked it.
Smells like vinegar.
Yeah.
You have salt and vinegar chips?
No, that's just me.
Originally picked out in April of 1955, Area 51 wasn't even acknowledged as officially existing until August of 2013, with nothing but some chain link fencing and signs warning against trespassing at the head of an unmarked road. This secretive government base is a ripe breeding ground for supernatural stories and conspiracy theories. All we can do is follow Bob Lazar's advice to younger generations. Quote, just pay attention. Just pay attention. End quote. Perhaps someday, Area 51's research, alien or otherwise, will be declassified for the public. Until then, whether Area 51 secretly holds aliens or their spacecrafts remains unsolved. Now, this is just essentially one case that provides a look into what Area 51 could possibly be. There's so many other more cases about it.
So what do you think is actually in Area 51? Gun to your head.
I think there's a lot of things that could be in there. It could be aliens, it could be advanced machinery and weapons that we don't know about. I'd like to think it holds all the world's mysteries. You know, Roswell, Bigfoot.
Yeah, Bigfoot's working at the reception desk. I just need you to sign in.
Sorry, we validate parking. Yeah, I don't know. It's a fun idea.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you're not going to get any answers from me. What do you think's in there?
Nothing.
Well, that does it for this episode.
To anyone out there at Area 51, our thoughts are with you. You shouldn't be there.
You shouldn't be there.
Hopefully you make it home.
And
Make sure to hydrate.